Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from YourBlackWorld.com. Today I heard about a case that I think that everybody needs to hear about. There's a young woman named Sharanda Jones, and she went to prison under those old crack laws that we've been fighting against. You know that Russell Simmons and I have been running a campaign against mass incarceration for a while, and cases like this are the ones that we want out in the public, and we want to get your help in trying to get people back with their families, or at least make sure the punishment fits the crime. Ms. Jones was given life in prison without parole on a conspiracy charge related to crack cocaine distribution. The evidence seems quite faulty, and in order to allow us to better understand this case, I reached out to, or actually I was reached out to by her attorney, Ms. Brittany Bird. She's out of Dallas, and I have Ms. Bird on the line. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fine, and I got your name right, Brittany Bird, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because I know that's your married name, and you in the email it seemed like your name had changed. So, Ms. Bird, first of all, can you give me sort of the basics on Sharanda and the case in the background? The case is in Texas, right?
Right, and I want to clarify that it is a federal case, so it's not a state case.
Okay. So tell us about Ms. Jones's case and why you're involved and why you think that other people should be involved.
I came across Sharanda's case during my second year of law school. I was actually writing a research paper about the disproportionate effect of sentencing on African Americans, especially related to crack cocaine. So I came across her case for this paper and reached out to her, sent her cards offering my support, and this was in the fall of 2009, and we've had a relationship since with just me trying to help her. And I vowed to not stop until she was free because her case was absolutely sickening. And so I reached out during law school to several attorneys to help me file briefs on her behalf or to bring awareness to her case, to no avail. So now that I am a licensed attorney and licensed to practice in federal court, I don't have to go around begging. So I'm working now to free her. She served 13 years of a natural life sentence for her first ever conviction. And I would also like to point out she'd never even been arrested before. She took her case to trial. There were probably 10 or more people indicted in this case, including Sharanda's mother, brother, sister. She was convicted considered a leader and convicted based primarily on co-conspirator testimony, which means there were no drugs found in Sharanda's possession. She was not on any surveillance selling drugs. She never sold any drugs to any confidential informant. Her name came up based on two co-conspirators being indicted a year before Sharanda, and they actually agreed to cooperate with the government to convict others in order to, of course, get them a lesser sentence. So they testified against Sharanda in court, as well as Sharanda's supplier. Sharanda was convicted of traveling back and forth from Dallas, Texas to Houston, Texas, purchasing large quantities of powder cocaine from a supplier in Houston. This supplier testified against Sharanda during her trial and received a sentence of 19 years. So that in and of itself is like, how does a supplier get substantially less time than Sharanda? But that's the world we live in. So basically, with no physical evidence, drugs found, she was convicted based on the quantities testified to by the co-conspirators.
You know, it's interesting because this case is so familiar because there are literally thousands, maybe tens of thousands of cases like this across the country. And I remember speaking with Freeway Ricky Ross, who admits that he was a big drug dealer. I mean, they actually did a BET special about him, American Gangster. And one of the things that he mentioned, which I thought was very interesting, was he said that the person that supplied the cocaine to him, he's the biggest drug dealer on the West Coast, mind you, but he said that the Colombians that literally made billions off of the drug trade in South Central, he said that this guy got maybe 17 months in prison.
Wow.
And his argument was that he said because these guys were working for the CIA. I mean, they were on the CIA payroll. And so people, I think, when they look at cases like this, have to understand that this was certainly bigger than us. This was something where there were a lot of people who did a lot of things that they shouldn't have been doing at that time. And it's interesting to me as well because in this case, again, you're an attorney and you're able to see the law and it clearly and what the legal boundaries are. And as a scholar, I'm more likely to see maybe what the moral boundaries are. And what the moral appeal I make to people is I say, well, look, she's done 13 years in prison. Is that enough time? I mean, has she paid her debt to society? Is society better off with Sharanda, I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Is society better off with her behind bars or with her out with her family? It wasn't, as you mentioned, she's never been arrested. She's not a violent person, and she has paid a debt. We can't agree that drug dealing, whether she did it or not. I don't even think that her guilt or innocence really is the issue at this point. Really, it's a matter of asking whether the punishment fits the crime. Am I off base on this? Am I in the ballpark in this analysis? What is your take on it, as an attorney?
That's absolutely right. As an attorney, particularly with Sharanda's case, because she does accept responsibility, that we are not arguing guilt or innocence. We are simply arguing that her sentence is, I don't even know if excessive is the right word, for someone to be sentenced for the rest of their natural life in prison for their first ever conviction, felony or otherwise. I mean, we're talking about a woman who never even been to jail for a traffic ticket. So you're absolutely hit the nail on the head. We are talking about the excessiveness of her punishment. And one thing that I would like to note is that since day one of her incarceration, Sharanda has been on a path of self-improvement. She's been a model inmate, a leader to others, and she's just been really a light to the other inmates around her. And she is taking several self-improvement classes, just trying to be a better person. She's determined to have the situation make her better and not bitter. And I don't think she'll ever know the effect she's had on my life just by watching her in her circumstances, and her faith is immeasurable. And I think that speaks volumes as well, that she has served over 13 years in prison and been a model inmate and has worked diligently on self-improvement.
Wow. Well, I respect that as well. And, I also respect your involvement in this case. Just so people can know, I just met you today because you took that initiative to send me this email, and I said let's get to work on this. Now I want to ask you first, out of curiosity for those who are listening, where is Sharanda incarcerated right now? Is she in Texas?
Sharanda is incarcerated in federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas. She's at the Carswell unit.
Okay. The second question I'd like to ask you is how can people help Sharanda?
They can help Sharanda by visiting her website at www.IamSharandaJones.org and signing her petition, which is on the website under the How You Can Help link. And just by signing the petition, sharing the petition, spreading the word, and bringing awareness to her case, as much frustration as I hold, thinking, people just don't want to help, people don't care, she's a human being, she deserves another chance. I've also come to find out that people just don't know. The public doesn't know that people are serving life sentences without parole for their first ever offense for selling drugs. And just to bring the awareness to the public would do a great deal. As well as on her website, we have under the How You Can Help link on how you can write a letter of support to President Obama on Sharanda's behalf, petitioning for her sentence commutation, which President Obama solely has that power to grant.
Mm. So the president, by signing his name on a document, could bring this mother home to her family. Is that correct?
That's correct. We would take the petition, attach it to our application for a commutation, which we are filing with the U.S. Office of the Pardon Attorney at the end of June. And the first step would be for the U.S. Office of the Pardon Attorney, which is under Attorney General Eric Holder in the Department of Justice, to review her file, first of all, and then recommend her sentence commutation to President Obama. In turn, President Obama would have his attorneys look at it. They would recommend it, and if he agreed, he would sign the dotted line to commute her sentence.
Wow. Well, I want to say first of all that we at Your Black World are behind Sharanda's case. We put up an article about it today, and we were happy to say that just in the last 2 hours, several hundred people have already signed the petition. We're going to try to turn that into several thousand very soon. And
that's amazing.
We support it. We believe in what you all are trying to do. The other thing I want to take a second to make sure that I do is I want to commend you. I think that people in Texas that, if you're looking for the future in the legal profession, you need to look no further than Ms. Bird. She's won several awards, for being an outstanding young leader in her profession. And to me, she represents the future because this is what we need. Attorneys, scholars and attorneys, but more so attorneys are the warriors that have to be on the front lines to help our community piece itself back together. Mass incarceration has destroyed families. The high incarceration rates are the reasons that so many children are born and raised in single-parent homes, because there are no men to marry anymore, or very few men. I don't want to say none. But, we as a community have really suffered from this, and I think that attorneys like yourself, get the highest plateau of my respect because, you're doing your thing as an attorney, you're making your money and you're living your life, but you're also taking that time to join in the struggle. So every opportunity I get to tell people how great your work is, I'm going to do that. So thank you for helping Sharanda. And
thank you very much.
Absolutely. I think all of us working together, we can overcome this. This
Absolutely.
is not a battle that we're meant to lose. So thank you so much for your time, Ms. Burton. I'm going to let you get the last word. Is there anything else you wanted to add in? Or it seems like we've pretty much covered everything. What do you think?
I totally agree. Look up Sharanda's website, sign that petition, and let's spread the word and bring awareness to Sharanda's case, which in turn will bring awareness to the thousands of others, I do believe.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I feel good. I have a very good feeling about this. And so if people want to learn more, we do have an article about Sharanda up on one of our sites, naturallymoi.com. Also with Your Black World, and those, I think we have about 100,000 of you on our e-blast list. We're going to blast that out pretty soon, and we're going to scream it from the rooftops because this mother needs to be home with her family. So to those who are listening, thank you for checking us out at yourblackworld.com, and until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.